I'm Mia Lamb, and my research topic was macular degeneration. And I chose this topic because it is something that has affected me personally. I have early onset macular degeneration in my right eye. My dad has macular degeneration, and both of my grandparents have macular degeneration on my dad's side. And macular degeneration as a disease is not something that has been easy to live with personally, and to see the people that I love affected with it. It's a medical condition related to the eyes. It's a disease, and it can be in both eyes. Luckily enough for me, I have it in just one eye. It can cause blurred vision, or in some cases it can cause you to lose your vision completely. And macular degeneration is more common in people over the age of 50. Unless it's genetic, then it can be caught early in your teen years. The blurred or reduced central vision is caused by the inner layers of the macula to start breaking down, which is what causes you to lose your vision. And the macula is the part of your eye that gives the eyes unclouded vision. The macula clears vision in the direct line of sight. Oftentimes, macular degeneration can start in one eye and progressively move to the other eye. So if it starts in your right eye, it can worsen and start in your left eye, and then you'll have it in both your eyes. But other times it can develop in both eyes at the same time. This is more rare than having it start in one eye and move to the other eye. But either way, your vision will worsen over time, and progressively daily activities will get harder and will get a little bit more difficult. It'll get a little bit more difficult to live with, especially having it in both eyes. Some abilities that can be affected with macular degeneration are reading, driving, shape and color recognition, facial recognition. And a common misconception about macular degeneration is that you completely lose sight in both of your eyes, which is not true, because once you figure out that you have macular degeneration, you may have blurry vision, but you won't completely lose all of your vision at one time. It'll just progressively get worse over time if it's not treated or monitored or cared for. Vision loss is typically central, the central part of your macula. Your peripheral vision will remain, and the severity of vision loss can vary amongst the victims of macular degeneration. In some cases, vision loss can be very mild. However, other cases can be much more severe. So if you're lucky enough to have it in one eye, then you could have blurry vision in one eye. Your vision may progressively get worse in that eye, but in the other cases where it starts in both eyes, your vision will kind of get lost at the same time. It'll worsen over time at the same rate. And the symptoms for macular degeneration can be different for everybody. Like I said, the symptoms will develop over time and then worsen over time. The symptoms of macular degeneration can be different from everybody experiencing macular degeneration, and over time, your symptoms may develop at a slower rate than somebody else who's experiencing the same disease, and it will worsen throughout the lifetime of the person experiencing it. Some of the symptoms include visual distortions, increased blurriness in words, difficulty recognizing faces, shapes, colors, everything along those lines. Your vision may increase in one eye if you are experiencing macular degeneration in the opposite eye. So if you have macular degeneration in your right eye, the vision in your left eye can increase. You can have better vision because it's working harder, since you are losing your vision in your right eye, to compensate for the loss of vision in your other eye. And there are two types of macular degeneration, the wet and the dry type. And the dry macular degeneration can progress to the wet macular degeneration if it's not taken care of properly or monitored, but the dry type is more common. The wet type is more aggressive, but oftentimes more people experience dry macular degeneration before it progresses to wet macular degeneration, and the wet type is more likely to cause a sudden change of vision and result in a total loss of vision. The dry type is more likely to slowly progress over time, and it doesn't always progress to the wet type of macular degeneration. And then the Mayo Clinic actually wrote a really good article on the differences in wet and dry macular degeneration, the difference in symptoms, which the The wet macular degeneration is caused when the blood vessels grow and leak under the retina. This doesn't happen in the dry type of macular degeneration. The actual cause of macular degeneration is unknown. However, researchers have found many different factors that have been known to cause macular degeneration, like family history, which is how I have a little bit of early macular degeneration, your lifestyle, environmental factors, your diet, if you smoke or not. Those are all weighing factors that can determine if you develop the disease or not. However, researchers have concluded that family history or genes is the most likely cause for macular degeneration. This disease does have a hereditary component, which is why medical experts are leaning more towards the reason of family history being the cause for macular degeneration. Most victims who do have macular degeneration have a family member or someone down the line that has experienced the disease. But your lifestyle, if you smoke or not, your diet, environmental factors, these can all cause macular degeneration. It's just that family history is the leading cause that researchers have found so far. While dry macular degeneration does not cause a sudden and complete loss of vision, managing it the right way can help slow the progression of the disease. Seeing a doctor regularly can help manage the disease since they can monitor your symptoms, along with choosing the right eye doctor and having your eye doctor choose the right treatment plan for you is a good way to help manage the disease and make sure that it doesn't progress to wet macular degeneration. Another way that you can help monitor your vision is to monitor your vision at home and try to help, like you can do an at-home eye test, or you can do the Amsler grid, which is like a piece of graph paper. You stare at the grid to make sure your vision is stable, and this is a good way to try to just see what level your vision is at. If your vision is good one day and then it's harder to read the grid the next day, that's a good sign that it's time to go see your doctor and talk about the changes that are going on. That's just a good way to manage and make sure that your vision is staying where it's at and it's not getting worse or the disease is not progressing. Some other things that you can do to make sure that your disease doesn't worsen is to stop smoking if you smoke, make changes to your diet and your lifestyle just to ensure that the disease doesn't have anything to feed off of or get worse off of. Another thing that you can do is take eye vitamins or vitamins that are specifically to help your eyes. This will give your eyes the minerals and everything else that they need to help your vision stay the same so that the disease doesn't worsen. Overall, treatments and management options for macular degeneration have progressed and expanded so much from what they used to be. There's many different ways that you can prevent yourself from having wet macular degeneration. If you have the dry, you can be considered lucky. Staying active, keeping a healthy lifestyle, stopping smoking or not starting smoking, and definitely talking to your doctor if you have a family history of macular degeneration, just so that they can keep a close eye on your eyes and make sure that you don't develop this disease, or if you do develop it, you get the right treatment plan and treatment options and ways to prevent the disease from progressing. And you can always stay ahead of the disease. That's a good way to prevent total vision loss. But macular degeneration has changed so much over time, and medicines are changing every day. So ways to monitor and manage macular degeneration have changed a lot from what they used to be.